2010 has already set in. Let this year be a year of success and achievements in your life. We wish you a very happy new year. Now, welcome once again to News Analysis. News Analysis is a weekly magazine on current affairs. To begin with the main points in a nutshell. Pakistan volleyball game hit by suicide bomber. Tibetan living Buddha Furbo Tsering jailed by China. Obama rallies CIA after Afghanistan bomb attack. Jet bomb suspects journey began in Ghana. Mozambique ready to die for reform. North Korea calls for end to hostility with US. And now the news in detail. Obama rallies CIA after Afghanistan bomb attack. Barack Obama has sent a letter of support to the CIA after 7 staff were killed by an Afghan bomber, one of the worst attacks in history. The US President's condolence message praised the work of those killed. The dead include the head of the CIA's base in Khost province, near the border with Pakistan, the Associated Press news agency reports. The Taliban said one of their members wearing an explosive vest and an army uniform had carried out the attack. It was the worst against US intelligence officials since the American embassy in Beirut was bombed in 1983. A total of 90 CIA employees have been honored for their deaths in the agency service since its inception in 1947, according to the Washington Post newspaper. Dead bomb suspects journey began in Ghana. The Nigerian man accused of trying to blow up a transatlantic airline on the Christmas day began his journey in Ghana, the Nigerian authorities say. Umar Farooq Abdul Mutallab spent half an hour at the airport in Lagos before transferring to an Amsterdam flight, the information minister said. It had been assumed the 23-year-old began his journey in Nigeria. But Ghana has disputed Nigeria's timing, saying Mr. Abdul Mutallab's stopover was at least 3 hours. A senior Ghanaian government official told BBC that the suspect bought a one-way ticket to Lagos from Accra that would have given him more than 3 hours at the airport. He accused the Nigerians of attempting to pass the buck as the search for security lapses continues. Mozambique ready to die for reform. Iranian opposition leader Mir Hossein Mousavi has said he is not afraid to die for the cause of reform. It was his first comment since the death of his nephew and other anti-government protesters late last month. In a statement posted on his website, Mr. Mousavi also set out a 5-stage solution to the crisis sparked by June's disputed elections. He said the government, the parliament and judiciary must accept direct responsibility for the situation. They must also create transparent law for the trustworthy elections, release political prisoners, recognize press freedoms as well as the right to people to demonstrate, as he added. I say openly that until there is an acknowledgement of the existence of a serious crisis in the country, there will be no possibility of resolving the problems and issues, he said in a statement on his Clamio.org website. North Korea calls for end to hostility with US. North Korea has issued a New Year message calling for an end to hostile relations with the US. A statement carried in a major newspaper said Pyongyang also wanted a lasting peace system on the Korean peninsula. In response, a US State Department official said North Korea should show its faith by returning a 6-party talks on its nuclear program. In early December, the North said talks with a special envoy had narrowed differences between the two sides. The North Korean regime traditionally marks the New Year's Day with a joint editorial in the country's three major newspapers. Analysts say the statement is examined carefully for clues to Pyongyang's policies for the coming year. Iraq regrets U.S. Blackwater move. Iraq has criticized a U.S. judge's dismissal of all charges against guards from the U.S. security firm Blackwater over the killing of 17 Iraqi in 2007. Government spokesman Ali al-Dabagh said an Iraqi investigation showed the men had committed a serious crime. The five had all pleaded not guilty to manslaughter. A sixth guard admits he killing at least one Iraqi. The judge had said the U.S. Justice Department had used evidence prosecutors were not supposed to have. Mr. al-Dabagh said the Iraqi government regrets and is disappointed by the U.S. court's decision. Inquiries carried out by the Iraqi government clearly confirmed that the Blackwater guards committed a crime and used weapons when there was no threat necessitating the use of force, he said. Tibetan living Buddha Furbus Sering jailed by China. China has sentenced a Tibetan Buddhist Lama to more than 8 years in jail for illegal possession of ammunition and embezzlement. The monk Furbus Sering Rinpoche denies all charges, his lawyer said. The man described as living Buddha was arrested after nuns at his temple protested against the crackdown on Tibetan Buddhism. This had followed anti-China riots that erupted in Lhasa in 2008 and spread through the Himalayan region. He had been arrested on May 18, 2008, and a few days after, more than 80 nuns in Ghansi held a demonstration against an official campaign to impose patriotic re-education on the convents, in which they were required to denounce Tibet's spiritual leader, Dalai Lama. Iraq hostage Peter Moore to return to Britain. Freed British hostage Peter Moore is likely to leave Baghdad later for UK, the Foreign Office has said. Mr. Moore from London was freed on Wednesday after being held hostage for 2.5 years. 3 of the 4 bodyguards he was captured with in Iraq have been killed. The 4th man is thought to be dead. Pakistan volleyball game hit by suicide bomber. A bomb has exploded close to a volleyball game in troubled northwest of Pakistan, with at least 7 people feared dead. A police official told Reuters news agency a suicide bomber had approached the game on foot and blew himself up. There's a lot of damage. Roofs of nearby houses collapsed. There could be high casualties, official Habibullah Khan told Reuters. Another police chief, Ayub Khan, was quoted by the Associated Press as saying the attack may be in retaliation for attempts by locals to expel militants by setting up their own militia. Gordon Brown orders airport security review. The UK will move quickly to enhance airport security after the wake-up call of the alleged failed Detroit plane attack, the Prime Minister says. Gordon Brown said he had ordered a review of existing security measures and advisors would report within days. Full-body scanners would be among the new technologies considered, he said. Singer Van Morrison denies unfounded baby story. Veteran singer Van Morrison has denied reports that he had become a father again, adding they were completely and utterly without foundation. The Belfast-born 64-year-old said he had been the victim of an internet hacking attack that had placed falsehoods on his official website. The comments which appeared on my website did not come from me, he said in a statement issued to the media. The singer said he had asked his management team to carry out an immediate investigation, adding it was the second time his website had been hacked in the last 3 months. Oldest duck Edwina dies at the age of 22. A 22-year-old tea-drinking mallard thought to be one of the oldest recorded living ducks has died. Edwina was rescued by Len Knight and Christine Christopher 2 decades ago after she was almost pecked to death by her family.